Though I haven't seen any episodes from the recent reboot of the TV show Twin Peaks, I did watch the quirky series back in the early 1990s. I thought of this a couple weeks ago because of two unusual tropical systems that formed in the North Indian Ocean, where the climatology exhibits a very unusual twin peak. Now first, the geography. Here's the North Indian Ocean. The Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal are essentially separated by India. In this basin, hurricanes are called severe cyclonic storms, or sometimes just cyclones for short. Here's the tracks of all tropical storms and cyclones over a 25-year period. The Bay of Bengal side is much more active. Storms forming there can affect India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Thailand, while Arabian Sea storms sometimes strike Pakistan, more rarely the Arabian Peninsula, and even Somalia. Compared to other basins, the North Indian isn't very active. The North Atlantic basin averages 12 tropical storms per year, the Central and Northeast Pacific 17. The most active basin on Earth is the Northwest Pacific, which averages 26, while the North Indian basin averages only 5 per year. But if you plot its tropical storms by when they formed, we see that the North Indian Ocean is the only basin in the world with 2 peaks in its tropical season. We're in the first now, May and June, with a second larger peak in October and November. Now, to understand the twin peaks, consider that many tropical systems in the North Indian Ocean spin off a feature called the monsoon trough, which is an elongated area of low pressure that moves with the seasons. In Northern Hemisphere winter, cold high pressure dominates Asia. The winds blow mainly offshore, and the monsoon trough is generally south of the equator. But as winter fades, the monsoon trough reforms in the North Indian Ocean, where it helps to spawn tropical systems in May and June. Later in the summer, tropical storms become much less common because the monsoon trough shifts north onto land, bringing lots of rain to India. But in fall, the trough drifts back south over water, leading to the second tropical peak, with about half of all tropical storms in the North Indian Ocean forming in October or November. Already this year, 2 storms with unusual tracks have formed in the Arabian Sea. Tropical storm Sagar developed in the Gulf of Aden, which is an offshoot of the Arabian Sea, and made landfall in western Somalia, farther west in the North Indian Ocean than any previous storm on record. A few days later, cyclone Makuna moved inland in southwestern Oman with sustained winds of 115 miles per hour, the strongest on record in that part of the country. The third largest city, Salalah, got 24 inches of rain in 4 days. That's almost 5 times their annual average. No wonder the flooding was historic. Sadly, the North Indian Ocean has produced some of the planet's deadliest tropical cyclones. One in November 1970 is estimated to have killed 300,000 people in Bangladesh, while Cyclone Nargis in May 2008 killed more than 130,000 in Myanmar. Most of the deaths were due to flooding from storm surge. Stay tuned. Our extended forecast is next.